Welcome back to another home decor DIY video using Dollar Tree items and other budget-friendly items that I have in my stash. We are going to be putting together a vignette and we're going to create the items we need to make that vignette. So I hope that you enjoy this video. Let's get started. Starting off, I have this collection of succulents that I've picked up over the years from Dollar Tree and used in various arrangements, and we're going to put them all together in a single arrangement now. And I have this metal bucket. I was looking at the tag and I didn't recognize it, so maybe I got it at a thrift store, I'm not sure, along with this giant jumbo thing of jute. I bought this at a thrift store. It was brand new from Hobby Lobby, wrapped in plastic, and I think I paid $6 at the thrift store for it. So, great deal, but you can get metal buckets and jute at the Dollar Tree. You can also get metal buckets at Dollar General. I'm not sure about jute, but I was just using the things that I had on hand, but definitely Dollar Tree or less. Like, that's my budget range. I try to keep it super budget friendly. So we are going to hot glue this jute around the bucket. I did put some at the very end and just kind of twisted it together with my little finger protectors on to get that wound up nice and tight at the end. For this first bottom layer, I'm just going to take my time and make sure that it's nice and straight. And I want it all the way up to the bottom of the bucket without it hanging over, because I need the bucket to lay flat. So when I get the first round done, I will stand it up just to make sure all is good before we move on. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Leanne and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly DIYs here on this channel. Most of it is home decor ideas and just like to share with you some easy and super budget conscious ways to do that. So if you would consider subscribing to my channel, I would love it. Just hit that subscribe button, and once you do, a little bell will pop up. And if you can click that bell as well, and if you're already subscribed, make sure the bell is turned on. That just helps make sure that YouTube shows you my videos. They take all of those types of things as cues that you actually want to see it. I wish it was as simple as just subscribing, but sometimes they won't always show you the videos. So hit the notification bell. And then of course, watching, commenting, and liking the videos also lets them know you like seeing my videos, and they'll keep showing you them in the future. So once I knew that that bottom layer of jute was on there nice and good and just like level and all of that, I decided, of course I decided, but I just continued on to do the rest of this. We're going to wrap the whole thing. I am using just whatever I had on hand, which was this little tool from the Dollar Tree to help me push the rows, I guess, of jute together just to keep it nice and tight, and do that all the way around. Once we got to the top, it somehow wasn't totally even. I guess that's just because the jute is not totally even. Some spots are thicker than another, but it worked out just fine. I went along the top rim ever so carefully, and the finger protectors do come in handy for this, and just went all the way up so that from the side you couldn't see any of the metal. And then I'm just going in with a lighter, and this is going to burn off like the extra fuzzy hairy jute. It's also going to help melt away some of the glue strings that might be hanging around. Just be careful, obviously using fire, and if the metal gets hot, so be mindful, keep fire safety in mind. And once I got it all cleaned up, I wanted to paint this. You could totally leave the bucket as is, but I wanted to paint it. So I'm using a stencil brush from the Dollar Tree and some Waverly chalk paint in white. And you need a good amount of paint to get into the jute, but I also wasn't going for a thick, heavy coating. I was good with the jute peeking through. So I'm just going to go and do this all over, really pouncing it in there so that it gets into the fibers, but being okay if there are some parts of it that are thicker than others. This would also really be cute. I mean, you could do this in any color if you wanted to go for like a more coastal theme, like an aqua or a teal would be really, really pretty, or even a soft pink, peach, coral colors. There's all sorts of things you can do, but I did white. I do tend to go for more neutrals. I do tend to have kind of more farmhouse, rustic, vintagey style, although I will say I'm not like that across the board. But just take the ideas, use it as inspiration, and put your own spin on it. So I wanted to fill this up, and I'm using a couple different kinds of little fillers, but the bottom layer you're not going to see. So the top I'm using these river rocks, and they are from Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to poke these succulents in here until it looks the way that I want. The great thing with this, and this is why I've been able to use these succulents for so many things, is like nothing is being attached here. And I mean, you can, if you're having a hard time, feel free to, use some floral foam or something. But even then you can pull them back out. And so I can use them and make it a little arrangement. And then when I want to change it up, I can just pull them out and do something else with them again. So I love that. And it just kind of keeps changing up your decor often, still being budget friendly. So that's one of the reasons why I like to make a lot of my own stuff. But I love how this cute little arrangement came out, and it looks like a painted basket is kind of what it looks like. And yeah, I love it. Let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Do you like doing succulents? I should probably try my hand with some real succulents, but the faux ones will work for now. For this next one, we are going to make a mini book stack. Now don't worry, we are not going to do anything to harm these mini Bibles. These are from the Dollar Tree. It's a New Testament copy, and we are totally not harming them at all. And in fact, we're protecting them. I remember back in grade school, we would cover our books with, we would use brown paper bags. Here I'm using craft paper from the Dollar Tree, and they would have us do that to actually protect the book. So I enjoy doing this with some of my books when I want to decorate, because if it's a book that I want to keep and keep intact, not just DIY something I picked up from the thrift store or Dollar Tree that I don't care about, that I don't want to paint and all of that, I can cover them with the brown craft paper, and it gives it a whole new look, but it still keeps it intact, and you can easily take this craft paper off it if a future time, and it's just like new. So these little mini Bibles are perfect for a small book stack if you wanted to do it on a tiered tray or something. Anyways, so we are going to wrap them up with the brown craft paper. I just measured it, and I am just tucking it, folding it, and taping it. Mainly just taping the paper to itself. And I just put a little snip near the spine of the book so that I can fold down the ends. And it's really easy to do. I will say, if you go to find the craft paper at Dollar Tree, it's in a roll, and there are two different kinds. And I realized this because the last time I picked it up, it was much thicker, which is great for some things, but might be harder for this. And that's because it was, I think, like packing or shipping paper, I guess, to like wrap a package to mail it. And this is more of the craft paper. So just keep that in mind. But I think either one would work. And then we're going to do both sides. I'm going to do all three of these. I won't show you all of them. But just folding it nice and tight, creasing it, and kind of tucking that, good so that it doesn't come undone. And then once we have both sides done, I'm just going to trim off the end around the spines. And then with my finger, I'm just going to kind of smooth it and tuck it over into the spine, and it works great. So we are going to do all three of those, and then we are going to attach our little book stack. I'm just showing you it's perfectly intact, nothing, like no damage there. You could still read it with the cover on it, or you at some point can take the cover off. Now, I wanted to do some embellishment, but I wanted something a little bit more muted. So I'm taking this rub-on transfer that I have that someone gifted to me, and I'm just cutting out the parts that I want to use on this. And I think that's a wonderful thing about transfers is you can kind of just customize them to, work with what you want to do. And Dollar Tree does have some, but then there's lots you can find on Amazon, IOD, Dixie Belle. Most of the only ones I've ever purchased are from Dollar Tree, but I have had some gifted to me. Now I'm just holding my stack of books together really tightly here because I want to put a ribbon around it, and I wanted that to not be in the way of where I wanted to put the transfer. So I'm just holding it together really tightly. These transferred so well, I just used my finger, and then in between the books, I just used my tool to kind of slice through it and press it down. So you can see that. Hopefully hopefully you can see what I'm doing there and it makes sense. And I'm adding on the stem because the way I had to cut it off, I had cut off the stem. So anyway, you could hot glue the books together, but even still, I think you'd have to hold them together to put the transfers on. And I'm going to wrap that one across the top. And then I did decide that a little bit on the top would be pretty as well, just in case, you could see that from how I had it set up. And then this one I kind of messed up. I didn't do as good as the first one. So I just cut another leaf out of the transfer And like if they were separate, it would look weird, but like it just filled in a gap where some might come off in the front. So just showing you how forgiving the transfers are, I guess was the point of me sharing that with you. And then I have this linen cotton ribbon. This is from burlap.com. I will leave a link for you. This is not sponsored, although they have sponsored a video in the past, but they have really, really nice items. So I'll leave a link for you for this ribbon if you're interested. And I didn't want this to be bulky because I wanted it to set smoothly on a table or wherever and like nice and flat. So I'm just taking a tiny bit of glue and we are going to glue the bottom and then pull it really tight and glue the other side onto it. And this is going to be the bottom of the book stack. And once again, I'm putting the transfers, the glue, everything is just on paper that can easily come off of these books. So making a cute little book stack, but not doing any, damage to the book. So whether it's Bibles or other books that you just don't want to ruin, this is a great option. Now I wanted a sweet little bow for the top of this, but this ribbon is a little bit thicker and I didn't want the bow to be bulky. So I'm just going to glue one strip together, making a little loop, and then I cut another piece and just folded it in like a V to make the tails. And then I found some cotton twine, probably from the Dollar Tree in my stash. Stuff like this lasts forever. So by the time, at some point it's like, I don't know, I bought this years ago. I don't remember where I bought it from, but it matched perfectly. Or you could do a contrasting color to a ribbon. And I'm just tying the tails of the bow and the loops of the bow together. And I'm just going to tie it once and kind of then shift it to make sure everything is centered. And then I'll tie it a second time in a knot and trim off the excess twine. And then I will just take my pair of scissors gently. I could have used a pencil, I guess, too, but just something to pop in the loops to help me fluff them up a little bit. And then we'll just take a little bit of hot glue and glue this to the top of the ribbon. I love how this sweet little book stack came out. You can put words on the spines. That's a thing to do as well. But I just thought that this would be nice and not too busy. I'm going to have something else with words in the vignette in our next DIY. And so I just wanted something, to not detract from that because I'm going to just display the items together. So I love how this one came out. Let me know what you guys think of this and what you think of covering the books. So this piece here is also from the Dollar Tree. And at one point I did give it a rough coat of white paint, and then I'm going to go over the white paint with some antique wax. So this has got a layered chippy look. You can still see the original wood and then the white and then the antique wax. So again, whatever, palette you want to go with. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear noises while I'm filming. We have a lot of planes overhead, and so there's like never a quiet, I never know when it's going to happen, and I just can't keep stopping recording. So if you hear any noise in the background, that's what it is. This little farmer's market sign came from the Dollar Tree. It was a part of, I think, like a hanging sign with several pieces. And, by itself, just that layering it on top of something else would be really cute. And so just wanted to give you that thought. Sometimes DIYs is just taking a smaller piece, attaching it to a larger piece, and that's great. But I decided that I was going to flip it over and we're going to make over the back side of it with this faux white leather from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use this glue. It's kind of like a tacky glue. I think it might be from the Dollar Tree. I don't remember, but it was so thick and I didn't feel like waiting for it to come out of the top. So I'm just using the scrap end of a dowel rod that I had cut off of, a dowel for another project. And I'm using that to spread the glue on. I thought about using hot glue, but hot glue ends up adding some bulk underneath the material and I didn't want that. So I'm using this glue and I'm going to just press that in. And I also pulled out my brayer to smooth that out as well. And then I'm just going to cut off the excess. Now somehow when doing this, there were a couple spots that I must have had my scissor angled and I cut like a little bit so that you could see the top. But that's okay because we're going to blend it all in because we want to age this a little bit. So I'm going with some antique wax. The size of this is just an MDF, so I'm going over with the antique wax and a chippy brush, and then I'm going to kind of feather that in over the top edge as well, kind of going heavier in some places than others, like on the corners, and just making it look a little bit more rusticy and just help it blend with the other piece that we are going to be attaching this to. Don't forget that an easy way to help me out is say hello in the comments. If you don't know what to say, just leave me an emoji and let me know you're here. And then I used some of this transfer in a recent video, and someone pointed out that it was a Dixie Belle, and they were right. I did look at that after the fact. So I just wanted to show you the container for them. I didn't remember because someone gave these to me. So I just pulled out this transfer. In all honesty, I did not let the antique wax dry. So I was trying to be very careful to not touch the edges of the sign while I did the transfer because, well, I don't always have patience to let things dry, especially when I'm trying to finish up a video. But I thought this was a really nice, fun transfer for it, and I'm going to use some hot glue to attach this piece to the second piece. One nice thing about using hot glue is that if you're like me and you like to change up your decor a lot, use a heat gun and soften that glue, and you can pull things apart and then use them in new things. And I do that a lot because I like to change up my decor and I like to make DIY videos for you. So we're just gonna press that on. Again, I'm trying to be careful to not smudge the antique wax because I hadn't let it dry. And that was it for this one. Let me know what you guys think about it. Once again, it's like just taking one piece and layering it on something else, making it larger, giving it dimension. I did end up DIYing this top piece as well, but you could have used the original Farmer's Market and just put it on there as well. And then I wanted to show you how I'm putting this together to make a little vignette for decor using the items we made plus a couple of other things I had on hand. I have this metal tray that is from Hobby Lobby. I've had it for years, and I like to use that on my coffee table because if I need to get in my coffee table where we have storage, I can just simply pull the whole tray off. And then this is actually a Bible page, but please don't be upset with me. I did not tear it out of a Bible. It is from an old Bible where pages were falling out and it was literally falling, like not attached. And I just thought that would be a nice layering piece. No, I'm not doing any damage to it. I put in a little piece of greenery I had. And these candlesticks are from Dollar Tree and they really look like old. And I love them so much. I have them 3 different sizes, but I just pulled 2 of them out. My little book stack, a little bird that I painted from Dollar General, a little heart that I had made for my Valentine's video, but it was a neutral. So I just thought that was a nice piece kind of like added in there. And I love how this came out, this little decor vignette, the little pieces, the little details all together. And I just want to show you how I put them all together. I hope that you enjoyed this. Well, that is going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel and you enjoy budget-friendly DIY ideas, then please consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. It costs you nothing. It helps me out and make sure that YouTube lets you know the next time I post a video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.